Hey, Bailey.
What?
Bailey.
What?
Hey, Bailey.
What?
Bailey.
What?
Bailey, get in here.
Why?
Because we got to tell people about our show.
Wait, our show?
Yeah, our show on the radio.
Like you mean...
Bump Day! It's Ben and Bailey from 4 to 6 on Wednesdays for Bump Day.
On Des Moines Radio Mashup, Edge 88.1, and online at gvumedia.com.
With the presidential election drawing closer, certain issues have been cast in increasingly negative light, specifically the issue of immigration. Some candidates are even calling for the mass deportation of undocumented immigrants while demonizing Hispanics and other minorities. Despite this, many still view immigration positively. Local business owner and immigrant Herman Tejeda Gomez says that immigration is what makes the United States great.
Not about race. It's about taking the good things that everyone brings to it and make it better. That's why it makes the United States better.
Tejeda Gomez goes on to say that restricting immigration could have negative effects on small business ownership. This is Benjamin Moeller reporting for KDPS News.
You're listening to KDPS, and that was Work by Rihanna. This is Benjamin in the booth, and welcome to Switch Week at KDPS, where everything's going to sound a little bit different this week. Some of your favorite duos will be split up and doing solo projects, and vice versa. Anyway, yesterday, the Chicago Cubs fended off the Indians in Game 5, up 3-2, and they're playing again tomorrow night at 7 against the Indians again. The Chicago Cubs have to win 2 more, and the Indians 1 to move on. Looking forward to that game. Keep it tuned to KDPS. Next up, from ashes to new, through it all. You're listening to KDPS, and that was Magnets by Disclosure, featuring Lord. And one of the places that we don't think about having magnets in our everyday lives is in our computers. Now, Microsoft has just dropped a new Surface-branded computer aimed at the Apple iMac sort of professional segment. Now, it's tilt-adjustable, it's really sleek, all aluminum, touch screen, big, beautiful thing. And the reason this is troubling news is because Apple just had their, to say the least, weak showing at their keynote this past Thursday. Now, the only thing new with the new MacBooks is a new form factor, just a little bit slimmer, a little bit thinner, a little bit lighter, but not any more powerful. And this is really upsetting some of your core demographic with the primarily creative people looking at other brands. Now, it's no cause to be concerned, and you don't need to jump ship quite yet, but if they don't pick up soon, they might have a bad reputation. Next up on KDPS, Bad Reputation by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. It's Halloween, and you know what that means. This last weekend, we've had Beggar's Night and a bunch of Halloween parties. Now, you didn't think we could get away from all of that without someone getting in trouble, did you? Well, you're in luck. Hillary Duff has been under fire for her controversial Halloween costume. She and her boyfriend dressed up as an Indian and a pilgrim and are just getting slammed on Twitter. Absolutely taken to the cleaners. She said in a tweet, "I am so sorry to people I offended with my costume. It was not properly thought through, and I am truly, from the bottom of my heart, sorry." Well, it's all right, Hillary. We all make mistakes every now and again. Just hopefully she doesn't do it again, or she'll really be in trouble. Next up on KDPS Trouble, Cage the Elephant. This week in Wacky News, it is not Florida Man, but Arizona Man. An Arizona man was being followed by police and then took off, leading them in a chase down the East Valley in Arizona. Now, that's not necessarily the weird part. The weird part begins when he stopped in an In-N-Out burger and began ordering food, even going so far as to pull up to the window and then speeding off over to his home, where he was later arrested. I suppose he forgot to get his change. Next on KDPS, Christina Aguilera with Change. That was Hated by Beartooth on the Edge 88.1. It's a nice pick-me-up song for me, isn't it? So, we all need a pick-me-up sometimes. Usually, most of us need it in the morning. Some have our morning cup of joe. I've got a cup of coffee with me right now. Now, a company in Japan called Snow Brand Milk Products is looking to change that. They've brought out a creamy spread coffee. That's right, it's coffee. They're not looking to replace your morning cup of joe, but they are looking to maybe give you something different than Nutella to put on your toast. Who knows? It might make its way over the States soon. I know I'm looking forward to it. Now, next up on Edge 88.1 is Cold Speak by Islander. Take a listen. That was A Great Big World with Won't Stop Runnin' on the Edge 88.1. And you shouldn't stop running because some more weird news from outside the States. Russia is gearing up for a new TV show, which seems to be based, loosely, on the Hunger Games. It's a no-holds-barred contest where no act will be stopped, and I mean no act. Contestants will be tossed into the Siberian wilderness with only a knife and a change of winter clothes for the negative 35 degrees Celsius or something like that. Winter's out there. It sounds like the producers should take some notes from our next song here on the Edge 88.1, which is How to Love. Little Wayne for you. That was Take Me by Korn on the Edge 88.1. And you can take me, but not to court, please, and not with his next headline, because a lawyer in Florida, he found some truth in the old saying, liar, liar, pants on fire. And we all know what we think about lawyers. This lawyer's pants, caught on fire in court because his e-cigarette battery went off. His defendant, well, he was an arsonist. Seems pretty fitting. I guess what they say, smoking is bad for your health, and as it turns out, e-cigarettes are too. Next up on the Edge 88.1 is Lazy Love by Neo. Keep it tuned here for the greatest Des Moines radio mash-up. That was a long song away on the Edge 88.1, and for this next story, we're going a long way away. Back to Florida, actually, where a school administrator was demoted from her position after asking a 15-year-old boy to injure an 8-year-old boy on the playground. That's right, she conspired with this young man to injure this poor, innocent little school child because she believes that the younger man injured her kid intentionally. Well, the school board didn't see it that way, and when they found the text messages, they demoted her. Now, she says she asked the little mafioso in training to call off the attack, but deleted the text messages showing that. Oh, well, sad for her. Sounds like she could use the lawyer from earlier in our stories. Next up on the Edge 88.1 for you is Door to Door Cannibals by Chevelle. This is the Edge 88.1, and that was 7 by Catfish and the Bottlemen. Now, in news that I can't wrap my head around, Nike is under fire for making clothes for plus-size women. Now, they're making these clothes for women who are 1X to 3X in sizes, and people are complaining left and right about how Nike is promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. Now, I don't get how they draw that conclusion when Nike is making workout clothes for, plus-size women. It seems like the kind of demographic you would want to go for. Maybe encourage them to work out if people think that their lifestyle is unhealthy. I just don't get it. But you know what I do get? Fantastic music. And you know where I get it? Here on the Edge 88.1. Next up for you is Float Your Boat. That was Let's Love by Echo Smith on the Edge 88.1. And you know what I love? I love movies. And in news, that's very exciting for people like me who love movies. A trailer, no, not a trailer, a short for Deadpool 2 came out this week. Now, the short features Mr. Poole running into some difficulty trying to change in the classic comic book phone booth scenario. And he maybe maybe doesn't quite make it. Now, the short has quite a few Easter eggs packed in there, including a poster of Logan in the background. So if you see any Easter eggs that we haven't caught yet, let us know on Twitter and Facebook at KDPS88 on Twitter and KDPS Radio on Facebook. Next up for you on Edge 88.1 is She's Out of Your Mind by Blink-182. This is a KDPS News Summary. I'm Benjamin Moeller reporting. With the recent killings of 2 police officers in Des Moines, students are concerned with the safety of living on campus. Andrew Fox says Grandview leaders are assuring students.
With the recent killing of 2 police officers in the Des Moines area, people are wondering how safe they really are in their neighborhoods, and this does include Grandview University. Assistant Director of Residential Life, Robert Patterson, says that the security team that Grandview has hired is more equipped to work with the police in subduing the culprits.
Work on the safety of students, not from necessarily approaching or attacking any threat on campus, but rather helping students get to a safe place.
Patterson says it is campus policy that keeps security guards from having firearms. This is Andrew Fox reporting for KDPS News.
Grandview's student body president, Kendall Antle, is defending his administration so far. Jake Thompson reports.
Antle ran for office with a platform including expanding student discounts, connections with other universities, and on-campus interaction. Antle explains the importance of student discounts at Grandview.
Jordan and I are very big on having student representation, and as well as having our students be represented not only on campus but as well as throughout the community. And student discounts, by virtue of those, that's another form of representation and commitment from the Des Moines metropolitan area.
Antle intends to keep his momentum and continue making positive changes to the Grandview community. This is Jake Thompson reporting for KDPS News.
One of the controversies on campus this week occurred after athletes began comparing the varying scholarship offers that they were receiving. Kimberly Nelson talked to one of the coaches to find out if the system is unfair.
College athletes often question their coach's decision on why other athletes receive more scholarship money than they do, considering the fact that they have the same ability level. Grandview golf coach Chris Winkle explains how coaches determine how much scholarship money players get.
In terms of how much you're going to give them, it's sort of a business model and a little bit of cat and dog routine where if I can give that person 50% and they'll say yes, then I give them 50%. If I can't get them at 50% and I really want them and I have to up that offer, then you keep upping that offer.
Coach Winkle says that he will raise the scholarship offer depending on how much he wants the player to play for his team. This is Kimberly Nelson reporting for KDPS News.
That's today's news summary. For KDPS News, I'm Benjamin Moeller. You're listening to The Edge 88.1, and this is Sports Talk with Ben and Gabby. Now, we've got some news about the kneeling controversy, which is still going on, and it's proliferating to every level of sports. Now, it's down to high school.
Yes, I even saw that a school in Texas, right?
That's right. I believe it's a Victory and Praise Christian Academy. The coach just ejected 2 players and took their jerseys after they kneeled during the anthem.
So they couldn't even play in their game?
That's right. So they were kicked off, and I believe it was a 6-on-6 match, so it's even more harmful. I don't think they got to play at all. Players Cedric Ingram Lewis and Larry McCullough, they're cousins, and they both kneeled during the national anthem, and they got kicked out. So my question to you is that within the coach's right, or do these players have any right to protest?
I mean, I think in my opinion, it's the coaches. They have control over their team, and they can do whatever they want. In my opinion, these protests, I feel like they can be done in a much better way. I mean, I understand what they're protesting for, but I don't necessarily agree with how they're doing it.
So then would you say that you're more in line with what the Baltimore Ravens did recently, where they stood for the anthem itself, but they kneeled in a silent prayer beforehand?
Yes, I actually agree with that. I think it's much more appropriate for such a large thing that people watch, just to show their allegiance to the flag.
To show their allegiance to the flag. And
yeah.
I believe in that same game, the Steelers, who previously didn't come out of of the locker room at all for their other game, in which I believe the only player was Alexander Villanuevos.
Yeah, from the military.
Yeah, so he was the only player to stand during that, and he got a lot of praise, even though he said later that he did that by accident. But do you believe that they, as high schoolers, have less right to protest than maybe NFL athletes?
I mean, I just feel like they do just because of their age. But I do see they watch the NFL. That's what they're probably aiming to go for if they are in high school sports. And they're just going off of their role models. They're not doing it, or I know that they're probably protesting something, but I don't think they would have just done that on their own. They're obviously going off the NFL protests.
So they're copying those players that they look up to in all these protests that we have, like Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Minnesota Vikings, we've got Cincinnati Bengals. It's almost every team in the NFL has done some form of protest at this point.
Now, and it started with Kaepernick, right?
It all started with Colin Kaepernick last year. So as high schoolers, they don't have maybe the same platform, and do you think that takes away their right to protest at all?
I mean, everybody has a right to protest, but I think the coaches kind of kick them out of the game to show them, like, you can do this in a better way. Like, you don't have to kind of show disrespect towards the American flag. I think it was the way they did it, not necessarily that they were protesting in general.
I mean, I have to disagree. I think protest on all levels should be sanctioned, and they're not paid. They're high school players, and if they can do this, if they can protest in a nonviolent manner, I would support that quite a lot more than, a violent outburst or a march or something. That's all we have time for right now. Keep it tuned here for more sports talk on the Edge 88.1.
Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Edge 88.1. Gabby and Ben in the studio today. We are talking about an event that happened in the Yankee Stadium on September 20th. Although it was 2 weeks ago, it is still a pretty controversial subject. At the Yankees versus Twins game, a little girl was hit by a foul ball going 105 miles per hour. And now the question is this on the parents, or should the Major League Baseball actually extend the nets? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I don't feel like Major League Baseball has to take on any responsibility in this case. It's an inherent thing when you go outside, or maybe you go to a baseball game, that there's a little danger. It's a terrible thing that happened, but...
Yeah, it's a terrible thing, but, I mean, people are actually blaming this on the parents, but in my opinion, it just so happened to be a little girl sitting there. I mean, I don't really think anybody could dodge a baseball going that fast, 105 miles per hour, that is.
I mean, I think you're right that no one could dodge it, but I think that when you go to a game, and it is tragic that it was a little girl, but when you go to a game like that and you're sitting beyond the net, general admission seats, obviously there's going to be foul balls, and there's going to be danger like that. You can see in the video, which I just saw the other day, that below the girl and her, I believe it was a grandfather was with her, that there are sports photographers there with like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment just sitting in that one little booth, and they're sitting just outside of that net.
So if we know that there are potential injuries, why don't we just do something about it? Like, why do we just not?
Because I don't think that it's baseball's responsibility to take on that.
So it's just the people sitting there, like, that's just something that could happen.
I think if you want to sit in those seats, you have to take on that responsibility that something might happen. That's people go to car races and stuff like that where something might explode and fly into stands, and often something does. But hey, it's worth the risk to go view your sport.
And I also know that Todd Frazier, the man that actually hit the ball, was actually really badly affected by this too, because he felt horrible. He couldn't even bat the next inning. Do you think that the major league players are gonna protest to have this done? Because it's unfair to the players as well, because they're just playing the game, and then if they hit somebody, it's a horrible feeling. Horrible.
That's true, and maybe it's within the stadium's responsibility to put that up. I think if the stadium wants to do that, they should be well allowed to, because it's not the player's fault that they got a foul ball. Again, it's just part of the game, and I feel like fans do have to take on that responsibility. But maybe it's something that they can ask of the field itself.
So it's like different for every team, you're saying?
Yeah, so maybe if Yankee Stadium wants to put something up like that, and if they're getting 105 mile an hour foul balls, then maybe that's possible. Maybe that's something that they should do, as opposed to taking on all the responsibility and mandating it.
Mm-hmm. So actually, since 1887, 50 people have died from foul balls, but surprisingly, only one from Major League.
So then, do major leagues have more protection? Do they have just better batters? Are they swinging less foul balls?
I mean, like, I don't know if it's about the protection of where they're playing or what, but they've had barely any injuries other than amateur and little league. So that's all we have time for today. Thank you all for listening to the Edge 88.1. Stay tuned for more sports talk.
You're listening to KDPS, the Edge 88.1, and it's Ben and Gabby back with some more sports talk for you. Now, we're stationed here at Grandview University, where we just have gotten an esports team. Now, we're one of only 21 colleges in the United States with an esports team, and this is our first season, our first series. We're not quite sure what to reference it to it yet, but we are one of the only ones. Now, the biggest difference that I have seen so far in the news about esports in college is that the players can keep tournament money.
So they actually get money outside of their scholarships.
That's right. So they can get scholarships, they can get room and board comped, they can get a stipend, but they can also keep money from tournaments, which are a big part of professional esports. So like the big Dota 2 tournament called the International had something like a $2 million purse last time. Now, they're not competing to quite that level, but it is big news because, as I'm sure you know, in other college sports, players might get a stipend and scholarship and room and board, but they won't get any pay. They won't get any money.
So I'm kind of confused because esports always talk about how they want to be considered a regular sport. But
that's right.
So they're saying all this stuff, they want to be considered regular, but they also get paid, and that's way different compared to all the other sports.
That's right. Right now, most columnists are calling it a lack of regulation that allows them to get played, so I'm not certain if they're going to take it away yet, but I don't think that they should, because college athletes deserve to get paid.
I mean, I disagree with that because I feel like they should not keep that money because no other sport can. So why is it fair for them to be able to keep that money?
So I think maybe I agree with you that it's not fair, but I think that it's not esports that should change, but the rest of like the NCAA. So the NCAA limits practice like 20 hours a week, but after that practice, you've also got like film to watch, you've got weight room training and all sorts of stuff. Yeah. And that amounts to like a full-time job practically on top of your regular college.
So you feel that they should get paid as well as esports players? That's
right. And the people that surround college sports do get paid. They like here,
the coaches?
Like the coaches, the highest paid coaches, Nick Sabian, makes something like $11 million a year, like serious money.
Like way more than any esports player can make.
Yeah, especially right now as the sport's still starting. But even the players for Nick Sabian in Alabama don't get paid. They get an education out of it, but that's hardly worth the same money.
But players know that when they come in. They do this, I don't think they necessarily do it for money sometimes. They do it to get to the place they want to be, like maybe the NFL or higher up sports than that.
And while that might be true that they can use it as a springboard to larger sports and actually get paid, I think they should get paid in the college level because they do bring in big money. The Big Ten commissioner alone, Jim Delaney, got like a $20 million bonus. There's money for them, and they incur injuries and all sorts of stuff. So I really do believe that these college players should get compensated for their time and their image.
Well, I guess agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree for now. That's all we have time for on the Edge 88.1 Sports Talk with Ben and Gabby. Here's some more music.